The strangeness of one of the most famous and celebrated athletes in the world ends up in a prison just a few miles from the site of his greatest accomplishment and, age 50. And it must have been surreal. Did you not think, is this really real?
Well,
Feeling sorry for yourself?
No.
Or at least seeing your wife having to look at you and thinking, I feel so awful that my wife and my kids have to see me like this. It must be strange.
Well, it was really strange since I won Wimbledon. My life has been surreal ever since. And being in prison again felt surreal, weird, but it really fits my story a little bit. And ultimately, this circle of life that came together, which started in July of 85 and then finished in a way in HMP Wandsworth, where I said, okay, and now what? Now what? It was very cathartic almost, of shedding all my excess, call it excess luggage, excess layers of who was I and what I've become. I want to go back to who I really am. And those 231 days, it didn't have to last that long to learn the lesson. Sometimes I was in there and I said, I got the message, I'm going to be different when I'm out, and I still have to serve 3 months. So, but I philosophically speaking, it really, I think that first part of my life is complete now, and I'm happy. I'm in a different part now because of that. I don't think my life would have been good today if I wouldn't have gone to prison. Seriously, look, it was a shit time, okay, and it was embarrassing. And losing all your money is all that. But maybe it was necessary to have a second part of my life that's now better, healthier, a little wealthier, and all that. Maybe I was on a losing streak, and that was the end of it. That's how I feel. As a man, I'm sure you're happily married and everything is good, but I wasn't. I turned 50, and I was like, shit, my second marriage is going to pieces. This time, it's not my mistake, but it doesn't make it better. It goes to pieces. Maybe I'm not made for relationships. Maybe it's me. It was never difficult for me to have relationships, as they say, but to have a commitment, like maybe it's me, maybe it's not, I'm not good at it. And so you go into acceptance mood, you say, maybe that's it. And then out of a completely blue moment, I meet this girl who doesn't even know that I was a tennis player because she's too young for it, and slowly falls in love with me. And I go, why? I have nothing to offer you but my personality, my character. And she says, here we go. And now, 7 years later, we talked going in that they were married, but we're having our first baby. I mean, if that isn't the movie, I don't know what is. So, because of all of that, I feel like I'm really blessed. I'm lucky